Have you ever felt your heart beating so fast that it felt like it might jump out of your chest? Have you ever stood in front of people and wished you could disappear, just vanish into thin air so no one could see your fear? That's exactly what happened to Arman. A young man from a small town, he dreamed big, he wanted to inspire people, to stand on a stage, to speak with power and confidence. But every time he tried, fear crushed him like a heavy stone. His throat would dry up, his hands would sweat, his knees would shake uncontrollably, and his mind would scream, "You can't do this." One particular day stood out. His teacher asked him to give a short presentation in front of his class. It was supposed to be only 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. But for Arman, those 3 minutes felt like walking through fire. As he stood up, he could hear whispers, feel eyes staring at him, waiting for him to fail. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. His classmates chuckled, some even laughed loudly. Embarrassed, Arman rushed back to his seat, his head down, his heart shattered. That night, staring at the ceiling in his small room, he asked himself, why can others speak so easily while I feel like I'm drowning in fear? What's wrong with me? Tears filled his eyes, but then a thought hit him like a spark of light. Maybe, confidence is not something you're born with. Maybe it's something you build. He remembered all the great people he admired, leaders, speakers, entrepreneurs, creators. None of them were born fearless. They weren't born knowing how to stand tall in front of thousands. They had to fight their own doubts, practice again and again, and learn to believe in themselves. And in that quiet moment, Arman made a decision that would change his life forever. He told himself, I may not be confident today. I may not even be confident tomorrow. But if I grow even 1% stronger every day, nothing will stop me from becoming the person I dream to be. That was the moment everything shifted. The beginning of his journey. The day he discovered the secret weapon of every successful person. Self-confidence is not found, it is built. The next day after that painful classroom experience, Arman felt like quitting. He thought, maybe this is just who I am. Maybe I'll never be confident. That thought haunted him for days. Every time he remembered the laughter of his classmates, his chest tightened and shame washed over him. But deep inside, a small voice kept whispering, don't give up yet. Arman started observing people around him. He noticed something interesting. Many of the people who seemed confident weren't always perfect. Sometimes they stumbled over words, sometimes they made mistakes, but they kept going. That's when it clicked. Confidence wasn't about being flawless. It was about moving forward even when fear was screaming inside you. Still, knowing that didn't make things easier. The first time he tried to face his fear again, it felt like climbing a mountain barefoot. His school organized a small debate competition, and though he was terrified, Arman signed up. On the day of the event, his heart pounded as he waited for his turn. His palms were sweaty, and he kept thinking, what if I fail again? What if everyone laughs at me like last time? When his name was called, he walked to the front with trembling legs. He began speaking, but halfway through his argument, he froze. The words slipped away from his mind like sand through his fingers. A few students giggled. That familiar sting of humiliation returned. That night, lying in bed, he almost convinced himself never to try again. But then he remembered his promise. If I can improve even 1% every time, one day I'll be unstoppable. That single thought gave him strength. Instead of seeing failure as the end, he started to see it as practice, as part of the journey. He told himself, fear is normal. Everyone feels it. What matters is what I do with it. The truth is, this is where most people stop. They stumble once or twice, they feel the sting of embarrassment, and they walk away. But Arman chose differently. He decided that each mistake would be a teacher, not an enemy. Each failure would become a stepping stone. And though it hurt, though it felt heavy, Arman kept going. Because he knew, confidence could not be built in comfort. It could only be built in the struggle. After many failures, Arman realized something important. Confidence wasn't going to suddenly appear one morning like magic. If he wanted it, he had to train it. Just like an athlete trains muscles in the gym, he had to train his mind and actions every single day. So, he began small. Very small. At first, he stood in front of a mirror in his tiny room. He looked at his reflection. raised his chin, and practiced saying just one sentence. My name is Arman, and I have something valuable to share. The first few times, he laughed at himself. His voice cracked, his face looked awkward, but he kept going. Every night, he would repeat it, louder and clearer. Then, he started recording his voice on his phone. The first time he listened, he almost deleted it immediately. Do I really sound like that? He thought. But instead of quitting, he forced himself to listen again, to notice the mistakes, and to correct them little by little. He also began reading motivational books, watching videos of great speakers, and repeating affirmations daily. Words like, I am capable, I am improving every day, fear does not control me. At first, these phrases felt fake, like lies. But slowly, as he repeated them, something inside him shifted. He began to believe, even just a little. Arman also pushed himself into small, uncomfortable situations. In class, when the teacher asked for a volunteer, he forced himself to raise his hand, even when his whole body wanted to stay silent. At family gatherings, he told a short story, even if his voice shook. He treated every small opportunity like a stepping stone. And here's the secret he discovered. Each time he survived, his fear shrank a little. It didn't vanish completely, but it lost power over him. Confidence, he learned, wasn't about one big leap. It was about hundreds of small steps. Each mirror practice, each shaky recording, each trembling hand raised in class was like lifting weights for his self-belief. Day by day, brick by brick, Arman was building something powerful inside himself, a foundation so strong that no laugh, no failure, no doubt could easily break it. He was no longer waiting for confidence to find him. He was creating it.